Good morning, girls. Happy Tuesday. Hopefully you guys got your breakfast ate. You're ready for language arts class. All right. Today is lesson 2. We are going to start with a little bit of a review before we get into anything. So I have some sentences up here on the board that I want us to, for the first 2 sentences, we're going to underline the correct word that would complete our sentence, all right? So for our first sentence, we're going to be dealing with homophones. You remember what homophones are? Homophones are words that are spelled differently, but they sound the same, all right? So I'm going to read this sentence. It says, I haven't been to their house for a long time. All right, so remember we have 3 different forms of their, all right? Remember this is their, that forms a contraction, they are. This is the there that means a place. We're going to go there for lunch. And this last there shows possession, ownership. This is their hat, all right? So which one of these would complete our sentence? I haven't been to their house for a long time, right? It would be our last one, which shows ownership, their house, all right? The next one is we're dealing with our singular and plural verb is and are, when to use those properly. There is or are sheep in the pasture. Remember, what's our first step in dealing with sentences that start with is or are or there or here? We have to find our subject first, right? So our subject is our sheep, right? Here's our subject. Is that plural or singular? It's plural, right? There are, so then when we use our plural verb, which would be are, right? There are sheep in the pasture, okay? Now for the next sentence, we are going to correct it using quotation marks, right? Remember, we use quotation marks with dialogue, and remember, dialogue is the exact words that people say, all right? So, pass the ketchup, Tim, when you are done with it, said Kelly. We are missing our quotation marks in this, right? So remember, we put quotation marks around the exact words that our speaker is saying. So Kelly is saying, pass the ketchup, Tim, when you are done with it, all right? So we put our quotation marks right around our words that Kelly is saying, all right? We're going to go ahead and diagram this sentence. I'm not sure if you can read it, but it says, these shoes are way too tight. So I'm going to give you just a little bit here, and I want you to see if you can go ahead and diagram that sentence, all right? I'm just going to pause this video for a little bit. All right, hopefully you had time to go ahead and try and diagram it. This is how it should be done, right? So we have these, which is describing shoes, which is our noun. We put our subject here, adjective underneath. Are is our verb. Tight is our predicate adjective that is describing the shoes. They are way too tight. Way is describing how tight. And then to is describing way. They are way too tight. So way is describing tight. That goes underneath tight. And then to is describing way. And we put that underneath our way because it's describing, it's an adverb that's describing our adjective, all right? All right, that's all the review we're going to go over. So let's go ahead and let's jump into our new part, all right? Rhythm in poetry is our title for lesson 2. Do you guys know what rhythm is? Let's read our first vocabulary word to figure out what rhythm is, all right? Rhythm is a repeated pattern of accented and unaccented syllables, all right? So this is something we've actually learned about in reading, all right? So remember, we have our unaccented syllable and our accented syllable, all right? So that's rhythm, how it's a pattern of unaccented and accented syllables that make up songs and poetry and things like that, all right? And our next vocabulary word is iambic. Do you guys remember what iambic rhythm is? Is a rhythm pattern of one unaccented followed by one accented, all right? And we have that poem that we learned in our reading that can help us remember this, right? We have iambic meter steps along, it's weak then strong and weak then strong, all right? So that's our poem that we can remember to help us remember what iambic meter is. Let's just read over our new part. It says, rhythm is a repeated pattern of accented and unaccented syllables. Your heart has a rhythm. You guys know that? Your heart goes thump, 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 thump. At least I hope it is. If it's not, then you're dying. So hopefully your heart is thumping. That is rhythm, all right? Songs have rhythm. There's lots of things that have rhythm in the world. Many poets use a pattern of accented and unaccented syllables to give their poems rhythm. One common rhythm pattern is iambic rhythm. It is a pattern of one accented syllable followed by one accented syllable. The iambic rhythm pattern may remind you of your heartbeat. You can read the rhythm pattern of a poem by saying down for unaccented syllables and up for accented syllables. Iambic would be down, up, down, up, down, up. All right, so kind of what we did up here, right? So remember, rhythm it's a repeated pattern of our unaccented syllables and our accented syllables, and that makes reading poetry fun, right? It makes it interesting, makes us able to feel the poetry and things like that. Also, the same thing with songs. Songs have a rhythm, and they help us to sing the songs better and feel the songs as well, feel the emotions of the song, all right? So for your new part, you are read the following part of a poem and notice the iambic rhythm, all right? So as you just read over that, notice the iambic meter. It's going to be weak and strong and weak, weak and strong, all right? And then for your next part, on your next page, you are marking the rhythm of the second line. The first line is done for you, so you're doing the same thing. You're marking your first is unaccented, then accented, then unaccented, then accented. Each syllable, right? So you can clap them out if you want to, or just do it in your head, all right? That is all I'm going to go over for our new part today. Make sure you read over it and say your vocabulary words to someone, and have a fantastic day, all right? See you guys.